Okay, TikTok, what is the reason for all this chaos and crazy polarization and, social decay that's going on in society today? I would say, and the people that I am organizing with would say, it's because we had some fundamental changes in how we produce things about 50 years ago. And we're seeing that the society reorganizing itself around these changes. Now, what do I mean by that? Every huge change in society, well, many of the huge changes in society were around changes in the economy, changes in how we made things. The jump from hunter-gatherer, wandering nomad, everyone do everything, everyone eats, kind of primitive sharing, to agriculture, plant the seeds, farm, animal husbandry, don't wander, raise the crops. Private ownership begins, the beginning of classes. That's all because people figured out, okay, we don't need to hunt and gather to get what we need. We can plant seeds and we can keep the animals and plants around us and control them. That was a change in the means of production and how we create things. And fast forward to the change of machinery and industry, the Industrial Revolution. Huge changes in the economy creates huge waves where there's the creation of new classes, not just the industrial working class, but the owners, the capitalist class, that end up competing for power with the kings and queens and the structure of feudalism and the birth of capitalism. So new classes are created, new social relations, because of the underlying changes in how we produce things. And so really, revolutions start with economic changes, economic revolutions that are purely objective. It's not someone deciding to do it, it's sort of the advance of tools. And in the 1970s, throughout the 1900s, you see the creation of computers and chips and all that. But in the 1970s, you see the introduction of computers and robot arms into actual production in factories and industrial manufacturing. And that is a jump from just mechanics helping, driven by human labor, or driven by, natural forces that we capture, wind, water, and it's the actual driving of something by a machine. And then, of course, we know where we're at today. I'm talking to you through a super fucking computer. Now, society, something qualitatively different happened in the economy, with the introduction of microchips and robotic arms and computers and all of this stuff that doesn't just assist human labor but replaces human labor. And so we have come to a point where in production we are slowly getting rid of the need for human labor. Now that's something that has never happened before in human existence. This is fundamentally new. For all time, we've always had to labor in order to get the basics of what we need. At first, it was together and sharing and cooperatively, and then it was through class systems where masses and masses of people had to be exploited in order to generate the things we need. We are starting to get to the point where we no longer need human exploitation. Now we're just at the beginning, but think of this only started 50 years ago. Society started to reorganize itself around this. And of course, some of the smarter sections of the ruling class, of the capitalist class, their think tanks and their philosophers started really thinking about what that meant and where society is going. And they are not trying to slowly reform capitalism because of this new shift, but they're actually seeing capitalism ending and something new is being created where all wealth is not produced by labor, where things are produced by things. And that's the end of exploitation. That's the end of value as we know it. And there becomes a huge liability, a huge question for the rulers, that if the producers are no longer consumers, if the consumers are no longer the producers, if the consumers can't have a job to get money to consume, what do? And if they need jobs in order to get money to survive for food, clothes, housing, healthcare, education, communication, then what does it mean for the masses of people that are becoming jobless through no fault of their own because of these underlying changes in the economy? That's where we're finding ourselves, and that is what the ruling class is slowly trying to tweak and reorganize society on top of this massive qualitative change in the underlying economy. And of course, you're seeing huge things like a buildup of finance capital, people trading money for money, many times over the world GDP, because they're trying to squeeze every last drop of value there is while it's still here and while value is actually being destroyed because of these changes. And then using that money they're making in the casino to buy up land, housing stock, all the basic things we need. They're trying to buy the water, trying to own the water. So private ownership, private property is both squeezing out the last bits of money they can while money is still valuable, and using it to control the basic necessities of life. They're also, all the companies are putting massive investments into military and police, equipment, and really ramping up the level of fascism and fascist controls, including weaponry, advanced technology, surveillance, all that stuff, because they see the writing on the wall that, when people need food, clothes, and housing, and they realize the system's not going to give it to them, they're going to have to fight for a new system. So we're at an objective economic revolution. It's causing social decay, chaos, confusion, as society on top of it is trying to reorganize itself around these changes. The ruling class is trying to harness things and not move too fast to, scare the masses of people, try and pretend it's just a continuation of the old, but it's something really new. And we think we have to be studying this and looking at this and pointing out to, the unemployed worker in the cities, the unemployed farmer in the country, the person with the 2.5 kids and 2-car garage in the suburbs that just lost their job or is seeing all their friends being laid off. This is impacting everyone regardless of who you are, your background, your race, your religion, etc. And we are all finding ourselves in the same boat. So this growing equality of misery, this growing uselessness we have to the ruling class, the end of exploitation is a new opportunity for us. So the way the ruling class sees it is a dark, dark, dystopic, fascist state and society. The way we have to look at it is an opportunity for the first time in human history for everyone to be able to have everything we need to provide for each other and not destroy ourselves and the planet in the process, if we just can take over the means of how we create things and how we distribute things. So that's our vision of it, and really our stage right now as people who see this is to talk to other people and get them to see it, and to bring consciousness to our new class that is really changing from a working class to a non-working class. And old theories of societal change can't revolve around the working class in the same way they did in the past because of these fundamental changes. But we do have a new opportunity to unite the 99.9% of us, or at least, slowly gaining that unity in a way we never have before, because we're all in the same boat. So let's work for that. What do you think?